Cool Hand Podcast, something you gotta deal with. Welcome back to the Cool Hand Podcast. I am your host Q, and this is episode 2. And this episode I'm gonna call Origins, because, last episode we jumped straight into the content. But this episode I'm just gonna give you just an idea, give you some insight about what we'll be talking about. And I want this to be interactive. If you listen to the last episode, I asked, hey, comment about this, comment about that. So feel free to comment if anyone out there is listening. Hopefully you do enjoy this. Excuse me. But let's get straight into the origins. This is called the Cool Hand Podcast. I named it after one of my favorite movies, which is called Cool Hand Luke. My mom bought the movie. It's an old movie. Has an actor, I think his name is Paul Newman, in it. And he was just a cool dude. He went to jail for like some dumb reason because he was bored or something like that, committed a crime. Wasn't nothing. He didn't hurt nobody or nothing like that. But he went to jail. He was just being himself while he was locked up in a pen. And he got one of the inmates gave him the nickname as Cool Hand Luke. They were at a table playing poker, and he won like poker. It was some gambling game. I don't know gambling like that, but he got all these cats' money. He got all these people's money, and he had basically nothing. He was bluffing the whole time, and he said, and I quote, "Sometimes nothing can be a real cool hand." He beat everybody with nothing. So I feel like, I don't come to the table with too much, but that may be okay. Not to say that I try to lower the bar where I don't have any standards, but just putting things in perspective. Sometimes nothing can be a cool hand, and somebody can accept you for what you're bringing to the table. And that's it. I'm not going to get too deep into that. I just wanted to give you the origins. And then, you'll notice I say Cool Hand Podcast, something you got to deal with. Now that's just simple. That comes from a battle rapper named T-Rex. And he always started his rounds with grown man bars, something you got to deal with. And I just always like that. It's just fun to say. So I say it. So the focus of this podcast, it's going to be a lot of music talk. There's not a lot of sophisticated breakdowns. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but we're going to be breaking some music down as much as I can, but don't expect it to be super intellectual. Music makes me feel certain ways, so we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to ask, how does certain music make you feel? Just like I did in the last episode. And the various topics, love. I am a married man, so we're going to talk about love, past experiences. One topic that I really want to talk about, and we're going to have a guest on for this because I need other people's opinions, which is social media. Social media is nutty. Like, I just have various opinions on social media, so we're going to have to talk about social media for real. How it affects the youth, just the way social media shifted. I don't want to say shifted the culture, but I'm saying social media did shift culture. It really is. It was literally a culture shifter. So we're going to talk about that too when we have the right guest on. So that's going to be the gist of it, but there's going to be various topics. This is a podcast, and there's different stuff that's on my mind. We're going to talk about whatever's on my mind. So that's what we're going to be getting into. I want to shout out my wife, who is also the owner of Kayla Creates. She made several logos for me. And even the YouTube background that I have, my YouTube banner, she made all of that. She made it all for the free. Now, if you want to come to Kayla Creates, which is, my wife goes crazy with the logos. She goes crazy with it. Now I got it for free, because I'm married to her, and I don't mind paying her either, because that's business right there. But you're gonna have to give up a check. You're gonna have to write a check if you want a logo from her, and it's gonna be worth your money. So shout out to my wife. Thank you. I love you. You're great. So we got some interviews coming up. I'm trying to set up some more interviews I got one coming up with someone who just dropped an album. I don't want to give too much into that because I'll be having that interview pretty soon. Also, I'm trying to connect with a guy who owns a clothing brand. So we're going to get into that too. I like to take a look at artists, their inspiration, their lives, how vulnerable they are when it comes to whatever they do. If it's poetry, if it's music, if they play an instrument, how much emotion goes into that? How much of yourself do you put into your music? Are you playing notes, or do you really feel that? You get what I'm saying? Do you really feel that? So I want to have a lot of interviews and different perspectives, different creative perspectives. And I think that would be really great for people to hear about other creatives' experiences and how they work. So anyway, let's just think of a topic, something that I wanted to talk about. I know Tyler, the Creator, dropped an album, and honestly, I didn't listen to it because I don't care to. And it's called Igor. I didn't listen to it, so I don't know how it's pronounced. I don't know if that stands for something, but I hear a lot about it. I keep hearing something about a song. What's that song called that y'all like to listen to? That song, it's with Playboi Carti on it. And I think I heard it. I was riding in somebody's whip, and they started playing that song. And it was good. I think it had Charlie Wilson. I'm like, is this Charlie Wilson? And it sounded really good. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to cave and listen to this album. But I didn't, because I just don't care to. I don't know what it is, because I like music. There's nothing against Tyler, the Creator. I just never listened to his music. It seems like he gained a new fan base with his last album, which was Flower Boy. And I have Flower Boy in my library on Apple Music. I heard one song from it, and it popped up on my shuffle. And I think it was good. Can't remember. I remember looking. I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. Still just have no desire to listen to Tyler, the Creator. So, and he's hot right now. He's getting a lot of love for that album. I heard he's singing on it and this and that, and it's a whole new, but honestly, I just don't care at the moment. He produced like the whole thing apparently. You know what I've been listening to? I've been listening to Doja Cat. And I hope I'm saying her name right too. But I found out she produced, and I'm really interested. I think it's really cool when women do stuff. I don't know what it is, but when women can produce, play instruments, things like that, I just think it's cool. That's why I appreciated eBay on the last episode when I went to go see them. That's why I appreciated eBay playing the instruments, doing the little drum thing, sounding so well live. And Sudan Archives, when she was just doing her thing, that was great. So I really like when women can really just show up and show out like that. So I did a little bit of research on Doja Cat because I just found out she was producing and stuff like that last week. So I'm like, well, let me check her out. So apparently she had some song called Moo, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. I heard the song about 3-4 hours ago. I listened to most of her album, and I'm not into the whole, all that raunchy stuff that she be talking, but she is talented. I will say she is talented, and apparently she said she's not that good at making beats. She produced some of the song Tia and Tamara, apparently, and I'm getting this from Genius.com. She has like some account, some verified account, something like that, whatever. But she makes beats and whoop whoop, and apparently she made the Mood beat too, and the Mood beat kind of slapped. I said, okay, I didn't know what to expect because I never saw the video. Probably never will. I don't be watching music videos like that. I didn't even know music videos were still a thing. Like I know, apparently music videos are still. Who watches music videos? Do y'all watch music videos? Like I stopped watching music videos a long time ago. Like they used to have the MTV Jams, the MTV Jams channel. But you got to be rich to have that. To me, you got to be rich because that's like one of them extra channels. I was living with somebody else. I was living with a family. And they had MTV Jams, so I'd be watching MTV Jams, where they play all them music videos. It's nothing but music videos. For those who don't know, for those who don't got it like that, MTV Jams just plays music videos, popular stuff. But I'll never, unless like a music video is super buzzing. And even honestly, even if the video's super buzzing, I don't be watching. Let's just end it at that. I don't watch music videos. So anyway, back to the topic. The beat slapped. And she said on Genius that she made that beat because she was bored. She was done making love songs. And this is the thing. It's like her record label is RCA. And that's the thing about being on a label. I don't know the specifics to being on a label, but they do have some control over what you do, a creative output. And I'm sure there's benefits, and I'm not in the music business. I don't know anything about the music business. I'm only telling you just what I've read, what I've seen over time in my little 25 years of life and being a fan of music. You're a part of a label, they're paying you, they're helping you out, so they have some input on your output pretty much. I think because she sings pretty well, I don't know what her live singing voice is like, her bars were nice. Even the little background singing, I think she has some type of alter ego, but she really did have some stuff on there. But if she was able to put together, think Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, not the style of music, but rather getting something so raw and something that is so emotional where it seemed like Kanye was fully submerged in that album, from the bars to the production. Not to say that she doesn't put her all into her music, but something where you let yourself go. You look deep into yourself. Why do I do the things I do? Why did I make the mistakes that I've made in the past? How do I get better? Things like that. Put that in an album. I'm telling you, this girl has it. She has it. I said that about Sudan Archives, but the hard thing is when you're on a label, they want you to blow up. I would imagine a label wants you to blow up. They want to get their money's worth out of you. Now, imagine if Drake wasn't Drake. You can't imagine that because he's one of the biggest artists in the world. But they want to get whatever label he's a part of. I don't really know. I don't really care either. But I'm just trying to, on the fly, think of an example. Imagine if he was just stuck somewhere and not the biggest thing in the world. The label won't pay too much attention to him. But the thing about Drake is most likely when he's at such a high level, and an artist of his stature, I would imagine, has all the creative output. Like nobody's really, unless it's like somebody he's getting advice from, nobody's forcing him to change this, change that. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just guessing, to tell you the truth. But I think this girl can make some really good music, and there was some versatility on that album. I thought it was really good. And the thing that drew me to her was I saw, like, I guess she goes on Periscope or Instagram Live, something, and like she'll like do stuff. I don't know, but what I saw was it was some video, and there was a bunch of videos in it, and I'm having a hard time explaining it or conveying what I saw, but it was basically a bunch of different videos of her playing simultaneously, making a song. It was crazy. And that's what really piqued my interest for her. So yeah, and that's what brought me to her album. If it wasn't for me seeing that video, I couldn't care less about her. But now I do. So if you're listening, come on a Cool Hand Podcast, Doja Cat, and we'll talk about what we're going to talk. I'd like to chop it up with you. I would imagine this podcast will get maybe a max of 32 views, 32 listens. I don't know, like, I'm just starting out. It is what it is. But I enjoy doing this so far. Only the second show. But that's what we're getting into. So in short, I haven't listened to Igor. Wasn't Igor a character off of Winnie the Pooh? He was the sleepy. What was he? He was. Oh, my phone just vibrated. Anyway, he was like a sleepy donkey or something. Winnie the Pooh and them. Eeyore. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not listening to that Tyler Creator album because I don't care to, because I'm too busy listening to Doja Cat because she makes Instagram videos that are cool. And I just, when it comes to people producing, and this is going to be real hypocritical, but I do appreciate, because I'm not listening to the Tyler Creator album, I do respect, I highly respect people who can, who are multi-talented. I have a friend, an artist, who goes by the name of Crowded Places, and he produces, he raps as well, and he's even laid down the vocals a couple times. But I literally watched this guy. I've watched him go from, just a basic producer making beats, real simple stuff that pretty much just looped, to a very talented guy. Like he's the real deal at this point. And he's been doing this for, like 10 years now. And I've been able to see the progression of this person as an artist, how he has switched up his flows, how he has put vulnerability, how he was able to be vulnerable with his music, and he just keeps growing as an artist. So you have to respect it. You just have to. So, sounds a little hypocritical because as humans, I guess we are hypocritical. We're not perfect, but, I have no interest in Igor, but I do respect people who are multi-talented. So that's what that is. I was never multi-talented like that myself. Maybe because I lacked motivation. There's a lot of things that I would like to do, but I sit back and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like learning this. So that's what happens. But anyway, let's not make this about me. Let's just talk about social media real quick. And then we could just move on with our day. I'll let y'all go. I'm on social media. I promote this show on social media. And I didn't, this is kind of off the script. Like I have topics that I want to talk about, but this is just the origin show. But I'm going to touch on social media real quick. And there's a lot of different things we can talk about when it comes to social media, but I just want to talk about the effect it has on young people. Now, I got hip to Instagram. I'm going to talk about Instagram specifically. I got hip to Instagram when I was a junior. Yeah, I was a junior in high school. And Instagram was already popping when I was a junior. I just caught on late because I was just doing me. But more so with the meme era. And these young folks, these youngins having phones so young, and they're being exposed to different cultures. And it's not like young folks were never exposed to different cultures, like the hip hop community, things like that. We talked about music videos a little while ago. I'm sure you had kids watching Rap City, watching BET 106 and Park, and shows like that. Even MTV. I forget them shows that were on MTV back in the day. But you really don't have that anymore. You have Instagram and Twitter. And I don't think any like 12, 13, 14-year-olds are... I don't know, because I don't pay attention to Facebook. Facebook been dead to me. I know people still use it, but I think to me, Facebook is dead from my perspective. I know it's not, but I have nothing to do with Facebook. So, but take Chicago culture, Chicago gang culture, for example. Like, I hate to see it. Like, I wouldn't be exposed to Chicago gang culture if it wasn't for the internet. But you see what's going on in Chicago. You got folks killing each other every day. People dying every day. People getting lit up every day. Kids getting hit in the crossfire every day. Them Chicago folks, they be yelling the gang, 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 gang since Potty Train. You got all these different gangs, all these different blocks. And they make music about it. They make music about killing somebody. They make music about somebody's dead homies, disrespecting dead homies. Now, these people out there, especially these young kids, hear that. You got these young kids saying gang, gang. You got these young kids talking about lean, perks, Adavans, and Xanax. Man, you kids don't know nothing about that. If you don't go outside and play something, if you don't take your little young self, you ain't been outside your cul-de-sac in the suburbs. Stop talking about gang, gang. Y'all, these little young kids, little young, what Martin said, wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. That's Martin for y'all young kids. You heard me? That's Martin. Look him up. Go watch Martin or something if you want to get hit. But you got these young kids listening to Chopper Won't Miss by Playboi Carti and really thinking these kids are about that life. You got these little youngins. Everything that comes out their mouth is a meme. These kids don't... It's like they're being molded by social media. Am I saying anything that you don't know? Most likely not. You heard all this before, but I'm saying it. It's coming from me, Cool Hand Podcast. Something you got to deal with. I just also want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Actually, our sponsor, it's me. I paid for all this. Actually, I just paid for the mic. But anyway, I'm getting off track again. But it's like social media has these kids out of touch with reality. The clothes that they wear are molded by social media. Is it okay to get some influence from somewhere else? Yes, but these kids don't have any kind of identity because of social media. Not all kids, but a good bit of kids. It happens. You probably know someone who has been molded by social media, what they see on social media. And I just think it's horrible, especially with the gang culture. Like, I don't play about that stuff. Like, I know who I am and I know what I'm not. I'm not going to come out here like I'm about that. Like I'm on that. Because if you're going to act like you on that, there's somebody out there who's going to be on that with you. I guarantee that. So I'm not going to go out here faking the funk, because I know that there's real people who are out here who are really about that. Who are really about that gang life. You know, it's unfortunate. I'm not glorifying it. The music glorifies it, but these people, it's like they're really rapping about what they know. And I'm not going to get into the whole product of your environment thing, and I'm not going to you don't have to be a product of your environment. I'm not going to talk about that, but the music's out there. It gets spread through social media, and even YouTube is, I guess, considered social media too. These kids look at it. These kids imitate it. And thankfully, I'm old enough to have my own identity and not be molded by that stuff. But these kids don't know any better. No, I'm not going to give them that excuse. But they're still young. Their brains aren't fully developed. My brain ain't fully developed. I'm 25. I think your brain is like fully developed at like, I don't know. If any of y'all are smart out there, y'all let me know. It can be a simple Google right now, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to make any more noise. This mic picks up everything. But your brain isn't like fully developed till you're like 27, 28, 29, right? Somebody check me on that. So they're being molded by this stuff, talking about popping perks, popping pills, rolling. It's corny. Kids, if there's a kid out there, I doubt there's a child, like some 12 to 18-year-old listening to this. But it's corny, and you're going to look back and call yourself corny. Like, there's plenty. I used to work at a doctor's office. There's plenty of people who are on Xanax. Plenty. Like, it's surprising. It's like anybody you meet, they're probably diagnosed with anxiety and depression, taking some type of anxiety medication. I was like, you're surprised to see it, but you know, this world will have you all anxious and depressed. That happens. But these people, like the people who are on it, they're like prescribed like such a low dose, but it gets glorified because it's like folks self-medicate. That's the thing that these kids don't understand. These rappers are popping Xannies, popping perks. It can be for recreation. But I think Danny Brown, who's a rapper, I think he had a tweet. I think. Because there's fake tweets everywhere. But like, he's like, I do these drugs because, you know, it was something along the lines. I can't quote it verbatim. I saw this a while ago, years ago. It's like, you know, I do this because I have to. And that's not giving no excuse. Like, oh, these people who do drugs, they do it because they have to. No, because everyone has a choice. But if you're in a certain lifestyle, you've seen so much. You might be 18, but you had 6 homies die. And you're not going to no therapist or nothing, or you don't have any kind of outlet. That's why these people are taking drugs. They're taking drugs to ease the pain. Is it sad? Yes. Nobody should be abusing drugs. At the end of the day, nobody should be abusing drugs. And then they rap about it. Then these kids hear it. Now they think it's cool. Now they, like, how many kids would know what a Xanax is if it wasn't rapped about so much? And I'm not dissing no rappers or nothing like that, because best believe I done, you know, listen to Slide by FBG Duck, you know, busting out the mid, phone them off the, what do you say, phone them off the Xans, I can shake your hand. Best believe, but I'm not gonna go out there be like, oh, phone them off the Zans on folks and them. Stop that. Stop it. And it's just the whole world of memes, and memes are funny, but it's just the whole world of memes. But that's a light rant. That's a light rant on social media. We could talk about so many other things. I know y'all could talk about so many other things when it comes to social media. Folks be catching feelings. Folks be firing shots off social media. Crazy. But this is just a little light podcast for tonight. I wanted to get this episode up. I wanted to talk about the origin. I like music. I like talking about life. I like having discussions. So I look forward to doing this. If you're listening, I'm happy that you're listening. Thank you. Welcome. I'm appreciative for anyone who stands to listen to my voice and hear what I have to say. So yeah, it's entertainment at the end of the day. I'm not here to make I ain't on no Martin Luther King stuff. I'm not trying to change the world and make a difference like through a podcast. This is an outlet to have discussions and stuff like that. So this is the Cool Hand Podcast. My name is Q, and we're here. Cool Hand Podcast. Something you got to deal with.